Good morning. My name's Stephen Blackburn. It is great to be here with you. I thought about actually sliding in a test security and integrity training slide on here just to get everybody very excited, because that is one way to get people never to want to go to a meeting in a school. You can chase people around and they never want to show up for that because it is very painful to do. So I decided not to because I didn't want to have a bad first impression. So it is great to see you guys. Thanks for being here with me. My name, as I was saying, is Stephen Blackburn. I am a former teacher and school administrator. And you're probably like, great, what are you doing here? I was always, when I was growing up, my parents had not really had the opportunity to think through college. That wasn't something that was on the radar. My dad worked at Allison Transmission in the factory, and my mom worked at State Farm. When I got to high school and I said I'm wanting to go to college, it was this moment of, oh no, we never prepared for that. Not really sure how you're gonna pull this off. So I took out the maximum amount of loans. Not really knowing what that meant. Go through school, love all my education courses, I'm enjoying them, like this is a passion I have, I want to work with kids. I get my first paycheck, I'm feeling really, really rich. Starting pay, I think I was making $37,000 a year, and I then realized I had to pay about $750 a month in student loans. And I had a moment where I was like, this is a problem, what am I going to do? So I started trying to navigate the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. It's been around for 14 years, and the gist of that is if you serve in a school, nonprofit, government, some healthcare options, and you have federal student loans, you get them relieved after 10 years. I kept trying to get through the program and I kept getting rejected. Like, well, this payment doesn't qualify, this doesn't fit, and it became this frustrating endeavor, and my money situation isn't improving. I get into administration. Luckily I went through a fellowship, so that didn't add on to it, but I'm still carrying these loans around that I thought I could get rid of. Consumed my time at prep, it consumed my time at home, I'm filling out the certification forms, and I actually had a moment where I was like, this is worthless. And my wife kept encouraging me to stick with it. Fall of 21, I reach out again, talk to people, they're like, no, you're actually really close. I get an email within the next couple weeks stating that I had met the requirements. So obsessively, I'm hitting refresh for days on their website. I wake up one morning and the remaining $30,000 is gone. I get a notice stating you've met the requirements, congratulations. I'm elated. This situation actually gets better because I get 12 Treasury Department checks for $400 each because I had overpaid the requirement. So I'm thinking I'm on that show Punk'd, if any of you remember that. I'm like, this can't be possible. And I contacted them like, no, you met the requirements and you've gone above and beyond. So I'm ecstatic about this whole situation. I've had this awesome career where I've been able to work with kids who, I always felt like I was a young teacher. Now a lot of them are in college and have graduated. I was able to serve incredible staff at schools in Noblesville. And I had this moment where I was like, in a school position, we want to pour into the kids that we serve. There's nothing more important than making that incredible impact. In my new role at Your Moneyline, our goal is to help school districts pour into the staff that they serve. We want to help you find those moments of tremendous success as well. How do we do that? We're a group of professional financial problem solvers. You are going to have access now. It's all up and running. Your school district and the Ed Foundation have paid fully for this program. There is nothing you could possibly pay for. It is covered. I can't stress that enough because I know sometimes you're like, something that has to do with the title of money, what am I paying for? Your district and the Ed Foundation have covered this cost fully, so there's nothing that we could possibly sell you. How does all this work? So as we start, I want you to think through this. When you get your paycheck, some of the money you have from your paycheck goes to things from the past. Maybe it's student loans. Maybe it's a medical debt you're still trying to get rid of. You also have things in the present. So you've got things like groceries, gas, paying for a mortgage or rent, any of those day-to-day things. That's kind of where we specialize at Your Moneyline. We want to help there. We want to help alleviate those roadblocks that are in your way so you can see a clear retirement. We want to come alongside and help you so that when it's time to talk to those advisors that the school district has vetted and worked with, we want to make sure that you're feeling comfortable and thinking about the future, and we've helped you alleviate things that are bothering you from your past and also in your present. What do we help with? Anything from budgeting, I don't know what the importance of credit card APR is. I'm not certain what I should do about housing or those unexpected crises that pop up. I vividly remember I had to have been 23, 24. I went out to LA to visit my friend. And I go shopping at these boutiques in LA. I'm feeling great. I go into the store, I try on this pair of jeans, and they're all like, those are great. I'm feeling good about these jeans. They had those studded pockets. You remember when that was really cool? Just tons of studs. I get up, I'm like, this is the pair I need. And they tell me that they're $200. I did not have $200 to be spending on jeans. I bought them because I was caught up in the moment, and I went home, didn't really sleep that night because I was like, I shouldn't have done this. I put myself in a bad situation. I go back the next day, and they're like, well, you didn't read the no returns policy. So I was stuck with these jeans, and I was stuck realizing I needed financial help, and I also needed fashion help because I was way off on what I thought was cool. But we want to be that person that you can talk to and just something you're not really sure what to do. Be that person with credible advice that can help you in those moments. So it could be retiring, it could be just a checkup, or you're looking at something for maybe you want to buy a new car, or you're not sure what to do with the housing. How do we do this? We have two ways that we accomplish this. So we have people, and we also have technology. So in terms of people, we have real people, accredited financial counselors, and CFPs, certified financial planners, that are available to you 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. They're remote, so they're set up all around the country. That way we have access to talk to you at all those times. And I want to stress again, there is nothing we have to sell. We have no products, they're salaried employees. So there's nothing we could possibly ever sell you, because I know sometimes that's unnerving when you go into a room to talk about things and someone's like, have you thought about buying this? We have nothing to sell. Our cost has already been covered by your district and by the Ed Foundation. They're unlimited. You can talk to them over, there's a live chat on our dashboard. You can talk to them through email, phone, whatever you would like. There's not an in-person meeting that you go to. It's just over the phone or however your preferred method is. These are actually some of our guides. Set up around the country. They're highly qualified, ready to help. They have a passion for helping people that call in. So typically kind of how it starts when someone calls, the guide will answer and say, hey, what are you working on today? That way it's an open conversation, because there's nothing worse when you're panicking about a decision or you're not sure what to do with someone coming at you, because there's no greater moment of unnerving feeling than when it's something financial, because I don't know about you, but I always feel kind of caught off guard and uneasy when it's a financial decision. So they're there to help with those moments. The other great thing, and we found out how important this was recently when we had a staff member at a school who lost a spouse. The spouse was the financial stakeholder of the family. They took care of everything financially. Well, the employees now kind of panicked because they don't know what to do. Well, they're able to call in, work through it with the guide. They set up a weekly cadence to make sure that this employee felt great about what they needed to do moving forward. And we kind of realized the importance of making this accessible to everyone in the family. So it's not just the employee that has access to your money line, it's the spouse, and also any kids 18 through 26 can access the services. So if you've got that troll in the basement that you're like, I gotta get this kid out of here, or they're off on their own and you're seeing what they're buying and you're just worried, they can access and call too. So we wanna make it beneficial to everyone in your family. How do we help with we wanna, differentiate this, make this something that is unique to you. So our CEO, Pete the Planner, created the Stability Academy. It's 10 questions, takes you 2 to 3 minutes to fill out. And when you go on there, it's questions like, do you have an emergency savings account? Have you had a loss of income? Do you have any student loans? Based off those answers, it puts you on a unique pathway. And there's 3 pathways, and we have monthly pep rallies as well to kind of give you additional tips, anything to make you be feeling good about the position you're in and how we want to continue improving. And there's practical steps on the dashboard that you can take from there. Our guide team is top notch. They get together, anything that's on the news or top of mind. I know we've been talking, it feels like for years, about are we in a recession? Is a recession coming? They're like, this is something that's bothering people. They put together a whole course to help people recession-proof their finances. Maybe you're just like, hey, I'm in my 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. What's pertinent right now? We have courses on what's important financially at that stage of your life. If it's budgeting, if it's credit cards, if it's student loans, if it's going away to college, there is something for everyone, and access that continues. We add more and more as time progresses to the site. And there's also tools on there. There's net worth calculator, there's a budget boss, there's a mock retirement tool if you're hitting that phase of life where you're like, I think it might be time to step away. We want to make sure you feel comfortable in that position. What do you ask a financial guide? It's a great question. I sometimes still am like, wait, what do I talk to people about? Had a moment a week or two ago where this actually became very obvious to me, and I was like, oh, this makes total sense. My wife and I have a 2-year-old. My wife is expecting a baby in a month. Realized we never set up a 529 for them to go to college. I'm like, I'm 2 years behind. Forgot about this. I need to do this, so I'm trying to do it. I'm feverishly getting set up, and then it asked me what fund I want to put the money in. Well, I have no idea. Like, am I too risky? Is this stable? I don't know what any of these mean. And I'm like, why am I using my bandwidth right now, panicking over this when I could ask one of the guides? So I simply called in and asked, what is the most appropriate thing to do here? And it alleviated that moment. So the goal of Mount Vernon Schools and your Ed Foundation is to help relieve some of those moments in your life that you're like, I just don't know what to do. We want to give you professional advice and help you change those behaviors and think through processes with a person that has, actual background in it, so you're not the one sitting there pondering it, really panicking about it. So you can ask anything about open enrollment. We want to help with that. You have a lot of options here at Mount Vernon. We want to make sure you're aware of what that is. If you're thinking about retirement, or you just want to get out of debt, or you want to figure out what is an APR on a credit card. Any of those things we want to help with. At the end of this, we'll make sure this slide presentation gets around the district as well, so that you can have these as a point of reference. But there's always different questions that we come up with that we can help guide those conversations. So if you do use the benefits here at Mount Vernon, you got a pretty robust plan. So maybe you're not sure, what is the difference between a PPO, an HSA, an FSA? I have no idea what all these acronyms are. We have enough of those in education. I can't keep track of ones from healthcare. We take all the benefit plans from your school district, and our guides have access to see what you offer, whether that's an employee assistance program, if there's a 403B match here, everything that you guys have access to, our guides can see. So when you call in and you're like, I'm just not really sure what I want to do about healthcare, I don't know what makes sense, they can explain the difference between those offerings so that you understand them as well. And maybe sometimes you feel like, I asked this person a lot of questions. We want to help with some of those nuanced questions that you're like, who do I ask this? We're here to help with that open enrollment time, any of those times where you just need help with understanding what's available to the district, because totally understand sometimes you lose track of emails and you forget all the great things that are available to you. This is just some participant feedback I wanted to show you. We've had a few remarkable stories lately from schools that we serve. We had one school district employee 2 weeks ago that had worked hand in hand with a guide to try to make sure they were on course for loan forgiveness. They had public service loan forgiveness. They were just waiting and waiting. They'd been rejected. They got an email confirmation that they had $96,000 relieved. They contacted the guide that had worked with them. It's like, it's gone. In one day, their net worth changed by $96,000. Last week, another teacher with federal student loans had $52,000 relieved. At MSD Wayne alone, we've had well north of $2 million of student loans taken off the books of their teachers. And this was something that their district brought in because, how do we help make life easier for the educators who are making educators, support staff, administrators, anyone in the district? How do we make their life easier so they can pour fully into the kids that they serve? Some new things that are coming up. Maybe you're thinking about buying a house. You're like, what do I do? The interest rates seem to be fluctuating. I hear a lot about this. There's courses for that. Anything in the news regarding student loans, regarding anything with interest rates or with taxes, anything you might see. We have information about all of those topics. And then maybe just basics, you're like, I don't even know, where do I start? What is financial wellness? Totally understandable. There's information on the dashboard for that as well. You are fully live. You have the information to log in, so the registration, it is a really fast process. I'll kind of talk through what that looks like. And if you're wanting to do it right now, I'm all over the place here. You can actually take a picture of this QR code. And on this QR code, it takes you to a launch page where if you're like, I just want to have a general conversation with someone, this is Lisa right here. If you're like, I want to talk to Lisa, Lisa can just chat with you about what we do. If you're like, I'm curious about this topic, there's more specific if you want to talk with her through it or any of our guides. But this QR code will take you to a Calendly link where you can schedule with the guides. And then if you're ready from there, these are a few more stories, and I'll come back to this. You have all this information on your email. This link will take you to your page that is specific to Mount Vernon. Why it's important that you register? When you go through and you do the registration, it'll ask you for your name, email, all that stuff. We want to be able to tie Mount Vernon's benefits to you. And we also have space there where you can talk about who your spouse is and any kids 18 through 26 so that we make sure they have access to our site as well. Oh, sorry. And as I was saying, we want to help make these moments easy in life. The times when it feels a little bit dark, you're not sure what to do, or you're like, man, I just kind of want to talk to someone about this. We want to help in those moments, and we want to come alongside you. The whole goal of our program, as someone who comes from education, I know how much you pour in every day. A lot of times it's hard. A lot of times you're like, I need help with this, this, and this. You spend your days helping kids who sometimes forget to say thank you, sometimes forget to use their best manners, and sometimes forget to use their best judgment. You show them grace and love every day. This program was brought in by your school and by your Ed Foundation because they want to pour into you and they thank you for everything that you've done. We are so excited to serve you guys as a school district, and we can't wait to get started. Our guides are ready to talk to you, and the dashboard's up and running. So whenever you have time, feel free to log in, and we look forward to working with you, and thank you for your time.